What's going on, fam? This is Chris with Food for Your Thoughts. I know you're having a wonderful day so far. We're back with another presentation for you. And I know you've been investing some time, leaving no stone unturned, figuring things out for yourself and realize like, hey, we all been lied to on a mass level, right? So what do we do about it? We have to unlearn all those lies, right? And relearn our own personal truth that works best for us. Okay, so if you're new to the channel, hey, it's all good. It's all about growing, unlearning all those lies and relearning our own personal truth, right? So today, guys, I want to share something with you because many of you guys are going through your own personal transformation and atonement process. You receive your call to adventure, and you're gonna encounter many people such as myself sharing their ups and downs, the things that work, the things that don't work, and the things that help me level up and skip some level. However, I still had to put in a lot of hard work so I can learn how this thing work for myself, right? So I can get my own vibrational level and reach my own sweet spot, so to speak. And then I can grow through my own personal transformation atonement process, just like each and every one of us. Okay, so today, guys, each and every one of us, you're gonna reach a level where you're gonna have to go through this dark night of the soul. And right now, I just want to share some of my own personal takeaways, because many of you guys, as the earth, energy, frequency, and vibration, is really increasing, especially with that Schumann resonance, right? If you're paying attention to that, hint, 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 right? But many of you guys are going through this transformation. I really want to share some things so that you can avoid, and to also just take notice. Not necessarily to avoid, but just take notice and discern for yourself, okay? Because you got two forces at play here. So I want you to choose wisely. And it's okay if you've been stuck in one line and you want to jump from one line to the next. And we'll talk a little bit about that. So with that being said, be sure to click that like and subscribe button down below. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. And as always, we know Earth is a school, right? Our purpose and mission require learning a whole bunch of life lessons, right? To gain that experience and knowledge for our self-growth. So if you've been stuck doing the same thing over and over again, things haven't been working, you haven't really been seeing no results or progress in your life, especially normally it's like a 3 to 5 to 7 year benchmark. You'll notice a lot of little trends in your life if you really taking accountability and doing some reflection, because everything is cyclical, right? Everything goes in a circle, in other words. So what goes around comes around. That's why they say that. So with that being said, if you don't take care of the lessons that you need to learn, what'll happen is it'll come back around in another situation, scenario, so to speak, so you can really learn the lesson and graduate to the next level. Okay, and it's just that simple. But most people are not aware, and they not paying attention to what's being played out in their reality. Okay, but due to miseducation and not being informed. Okay. All right, so with that being said, guys, many of you guys going through that dark night of the soul, and that being said, you guys have lost that flavor of life. That's what you're feeling right now. You lost that flavor of life, but you have not gained the fullness of divinity yet, and that's why you feel the way you feel. So at this point, we must weather the dark time. Okay, that's when you really tap into your true self. And then this is a period of transformation, like I've been saying over and over again, in so many different ways, right? And that's when the familiar, everything that you thought was right? That's why I'm saying you unlearn the lie, relearn the truth. So all the things that you thought familiar has been taken away from you. And then, you have to wait patiently for the new riches to come in that are not yours. Okay. So at this point, the reason why I'm sharing this, guys, everything I'm sharing, these are things that I teach my children and also my grandchildren too, because these are ancient, information that you can really incorporate into your life, if you want to, right? But discern for yourself. And I'm kind enough to leave each and every one of you some references too that get you going along your way. All right. With that being said, like down here, the Willie Lynch letter. So if you haven't, when you tap into your heart chakra, I'm gonna let this, be known now. Please read the Willie Lynch letter. So, by Willie Lynch, and the Making of a Slave. And that way you can really get a better perspective, from my point of view, right? And many other people that look like myself, of what's going on in this world, okay? And also, please research the Emerald Tablets of Thought. What that's going to do, that's going to put you in a higher frequency and vibration of thought forms, okay? Also, when it comes to history, research the Nile Valley contributions to Civilization by Anthony Browder. They Came Before Columbus, all right, by Ivan Van Sertima. All right, and then also you have How White Folks Got So Rich. I forget the author, so don't quote me on that one. And lastly, The World's 16 Crucified Saviors. And I'm gonna help you out with something too. Most of these books, you can find a free PDF copy of this stuff online. We're in the age of Aquarius. This is the information age. So there are other people just like yourself been putting in the work, right? And they've been sharing some stuff online. So when you do the searching, you'll find exactly what you're looking for. But I rather get the energy myself through a book. So I invested in books so I can have that hard reference for myself, so I can point people in the right direction. Okay, so that's all it's about. It's not forcing information, just point people in the right direction so we can, just gaining different perspectives. Okay, it's not about right or wrong. It's about how do you see your life, and how can you incorporate all this information to make your life better. All right, it's not about acquiring information, because any fool can know, right? But the point is to understand. And as you can see, and you're surrounded, there's a lot of people that lack understanding and understanding on their life path. Okay, again, there are two different sides here. So we're gonna talk a little bit more about that, guys. Again, be sure to click that like, subscribe button down below. I greatly appreciate you as you grow. These 7 hermetic principles, they're going to help you out a whole lot, right? But no eyes were raised to heaven. The pure will be taught, will be thought insane, and the impure will be honored as wise. The madman will be believed brave, and the wicked esteemed as good. Knowledge without use and expression is a vain thing, reflection. So bringing no good to its possessor. So by you having all this knowledge and not using it, and not having a proper understanding, so to speak, and overstanding, it basically brings no good to the possessor and the race as a whole. Okay, so beware of mental miserableness, right? And expressing to action that which you have learned. So study the axioms, the aphorism, but practice them also. And that's what I've been sharing with you guys. Subtle, real subtle. All right, so it's all about unlocking the universe within you, because you are your own universe. So material items can come and go. I mean, you can have the cars, the jewels. What does that mean? All these toys, right? What does this mean, when you don't really know who you are? So that's why it's easy to put a shiny object in the front of a child, because they lack knowledge of self, and they'll just, follow whoever, that has the best offer, right? Versus trusting mama nature, mama universe, and getting your butt and homeostasis with yourself. As above, so below. As within, so without. As the universe, so the soul. So again, we don't need to teach our children, our young people, what to think. We need to teach them to question everything they think and encounter throughout their reality in life. Okay, so with that being said, I'm gonna give you some of my key points and takeaways. I'm gonna get you guys out of here. So we, again, from the time of birth, from the time you go from K to 12, right? You've been told like what to think, how to think, what somebody else's point of view of the world. But right about, you should reach a level in your life. You should realize like, hey, whose thoughts are you thinking anyway? Are these thoughts my own? Or are there somebody else's to fuel their, their construct? All right. So, throughout my career in the military, 21 years, you get to be around a lot of different energies, a lot of different characteristics and personalities. And I had to play a lot of different hats, and I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole with you guys, and that would led me to, really tapping into who am I, right? And that what brought me here to sharing my knowledge with you guys. So the older I get, the less I listen to what people say. I just look at what they do, because actions speak louder than words. And again, 13 years of schooling, K2 through 12, right? Without a trade equal wage slavery. Okay, that's not a fair deal, fam. So just think about that. And a man is judged by his deeds, not by his words. So as as the Kundalini energy, rises all over the planet, you're seeing this played out. The people, that has just been putting in their work, you'll see it manifest in their reality. And we have a proverb here: actions are more revealing of one's true characteristics and nature, since it's easy to say things, right? And so when you going through this dark night of the soul, you're gonna realize like, hey, a lot of people been on the heavy mind control, Stockholm syndrome. It's like monkey see, monkey do, without asking, extra question, tap into your critical thinking skills, right? And that's what you're seeing, playing out right now. And so this Stockholm syndrome is a psychological phenomenon in which, hostages of the mind express empathy and have positive feeling towards their captors, right? Because they have no idea what's going on. And so towards their captors, and sometimes it gets to the point where they actually defend them, and that's what you're seeing right about now, okay? And I'm not going to go deep into that rabbit hole. So again, guys, you got to tap into your universal spiritual law, because man law, you can manipulate this stuff, and with man's law, you can get a promotion, you can get a title, you can get a driving, you can get a parking spot with your name on it, you can get extra money and cars, but you don't get knowledge of self. Because if you get knowledge of self, you don't have to work for them anymore. You can, you can turn your life into your own business and start creating a generational, legacy, generational wealth. But on this side, you got to tap into knowledge of self, and you tap into all the elements, earth, air, fire, and water, and most importantly, spirit. And then you balance the thing out, because this is based upon what? The principles of truth, right? Inherent to creation. And it harmonizes with everything, knowledge and understanding, which leads to wisdom, okay? It deals with the universe and everything, okay? But with that being said, guys, again, you got two options here. As you grow through this dark night, this whole period, everything's gonna work out, okay? But again, you got comforting lies, and you got unpleasant truth. Okay, so on the confident lies part, you got man-made laws, you got his story, but not your story or her story. You got separation as well. You got white, black, you got Mexicans, you got all these different adjectives and adverbs or whatever, right? You got all these descriptive terms, but you don't have the truth. Like, who are we? You know what I'm saying? And what are we here to do on the planet of time? And also with the confident lies, it's all about the moolah, baby, because it's coin operated. Because they also gonna give you everything is free over here, right? They're gonna govern your mental, right? That's why you have the government, because it's governing your mind. And they're gonna also give you some free lunch too while you wait, and also go through their training program process. It's all about who am I. So they give you religion, politics, schools, everything you need except for knowledge of self, right? And also, if you really, just can't figure things out, and you just want to make some extra money, you can't do it, you can't figure things out things out on your own, they'll give you some jobs with some free training, and also, they'll get you going in the process. So, while you're working for them, they're gonna pay you 20% while they pocket 80. Okay, just remember that. And what happened to me, I jumped lines. After so long, I was like, man, 21 years, that's a long time. And I was like, man, I can't do it. So I switched lines, and I realized, like, hey, I do have a purpose and a mission in life. I have a life path, and I realized in the military that any fool can know, right? But the point is to understand, have that understanding, some overstanding too. Right, and it's based on universal laws. That's when I really start tapping into myself, really listen to my inner voice. My inner voice been there telling me stuff, throughout my whole life. But normally I would just wait until when stuff hit the fan, right? And that's when I'll start saying, "Please help me," right? We all reach that moment. But this is the unpleasant truth side. That's when you realize we all been lied to, and then you have to really start using some critical thinking, and then you get to govern yourself. You'll be your own leader. All right, we can work together as a team, and then you'll tap into your life purpose. You'll learn more about your chakras, knowledge of self. But being in this part of this part of society, if you want to call it society, right? It's all about taking responsibility for your life. Okay, you learn about the stars, the tree of life within yourself, and more. So one more thing to be aware of on your hero's journey, fam. These people are playing with the 48 laws of power, and you just don't know it. So I just wanted to share a little bit with you. And again, this PDF is free online. Okay, so please research. So again, never outshine the master. You'll see that play out in all your businesses, right? No matter big or small, you'll see this, never outshine the master concept. And also, they'll give you, they'll tell you, they give you some free stuff, but by them playing the game, they know to despise the free lunch. Okay, so when you investigate the 48 laws of power, okay, you'll learn more about what's really going on behind the scenes. I hope that makes sense. I want to slow things down a little bit. So what's about to happen right now? Okay, there's a cause and effect. That's a swing of the pendulum that's going on right now, like I told you in our karma presentation, and what's going on with the retribution of America, racial karma, right? So but this may be said here, okay, that those who have attained high spiritual powers have misused them. A lot of you guys know these individuals, okay, and they have a terrible fate in store for them. And the swing of the pendulum of rhythm will inevitably swing them back to the further stream of material existence, from which point they must retrace their steps spiritward along the weary rounds of the path, but always with the added torture of having always with them a lingering memory of the heights from which they have fell onto their evil actions. Okay, so again, guys, this is from the Kabbalion, and also you can research more in the Emerald Tablets of Thoth here. But you're seeing a lot of this playing out where people have misused spiritual powers for their rise and not sharing it with others to manipulate them. Okay, so I'm here as your reflection to help you to tap into your own individual greatness, because to let you know you got this. So let's look down here. We're gonna close things out. Okay, so I'm telling you, I'm here to remind you of your greatness. It's time to to break the chains of your mind and take full responsibility for your actions. So when you follow the crowd, you lose yourself, but when you follow your soul, you lose the crowd. Eventually your life purpose will pop up for you, but in the meantime, don't fear the solitude. Okay, so what you're seeing right now being played out, the game is over. All we have to do is stand up, reflection, and their little game is over. Again, the Kundalini energy all over the planet is rising. That's why you're feeling the way you feel. That's why you're viewing this presentation right now, because you want to know what's going on and how can you have some proper understanding, and so you can help enlighten others, at least point them in the right direction. Okay, so the Willie Lynch letter and many others up here is going to take you far. This is only a few, but if you really want to tie things together when it comes to religion, so you can say what all these religions have in common, that way you can really piece the story together, and then it'll make even more sense. Okay, so it's not about hurting people's feelings, it's all about truth. Okay, so as we get ready to close things out, guys, the dark night of the soul is when you lost the flavor of life, but you have not gained the fullest of divinity. So it's that we must weather the dark time, the period of transformation. What is familiar has been taken away from you. Okay, and that's the only way you're gonna grow. Okay, so sometimes you gotta, some people don't want the easy way, some people gotta take the hard way. That's just how it works. Okay, but in the meantime, the riches is not yours yet, but that doesn't mean it's not gonna come. So we don't need to teach our children what to think. We need to teach our children to question everything they think and encounter. All right, so as right now, as your heart chakra opens up, reflection, we are over here. You will be a huge magnet and a target at the same time frame. You will feel compelled to donate and help the planet in some way, shape, or form. Okay, but don't fall for the okie doke. Okay, everybody's not on your team. All right, there are two forces at play here. You got people that want to lift people up, and then you got people that want to tear people down. So it doesn't go by race, it goes by energy, frequency, and vibration. Remember that. So as you raise your Kundalini energy, you'll see that, hey, there are some good, if you want to call them white or Caucasians out there, or other ethnic groups, what I'm saying? So don't judge a book by its cover. It's all about the energy. Okay, but we all been lied to. So with that being said, please discern. You trust your own inner voice, your own energy. One, here are my takeaways here. Sooner or later, you're going to realize that the people that you looked up to as a child, or, as growing up, even to a certain point in adulthood, you will realize that, these people really were just like repeating or recycling information from books or from other people, their grandparents and stuff, in videos without real world experience. And most importantly, they didn't do any research. It just felt good, just like the Christmas tree, the Easter bunny, just repeating these things without researching. And once you research, you'll be like, hey, no. Okay, you get what I'm saying? Two, cognitive dissonance and level of consciousness. You're going to encounter these things even with yourself. Cognitive, you'll encounter, it may be some things that I may share with you, it may not resonate with you right away, you may not came across that knowledge, but that's when cognitive dissonance kick in and you like, oh man, that's out of my awareness, let me at least research it. Like Chris said, he's not going to just share stuff with me and not saying, hey, he say research everything, right? Even him. So, and then you can use this cognitive dissonance. It works both ways. That's why polarity, there's a good side and not so good side to everything. Okay, remember that. All right, guys. So, but you'll be able to, pretty much get a bird's eye view of a person's level of consciousness, even your own. So the reason why this is happening, because a lot of people that look like myself, melanated, carbonated, whatever you want to call it, they, going through post-traumatic slave disorder, okay, or suffer from underdeveloped brains, okay, due through the educational system. And then that cognitive dissonance kicks in because this is knowledge outside of their awareness level. So what are the best things you can do on your hero's journey? Because you're going through a huge shift, okay? You guys gonna tapping into your higher self, and you're gonna come into some knowledge that out of nowhere. Okay, I just want to prepare you. All right, but just be prepared to provide a reference to help them to really piece things together. It's not about you being the grandmaster teacher, you know what I'm saying, but it's all about you pointing people in the right direction with several references. Like, hey, these people don't even know each other, but they sharing pretty much the same truth, but from a different point of view. That's all about perspective. That's how you can tap into truth. 3, do not make fun of people's level of consciousness, because we all start from somewhere, okay? But it's all about on your hero's journey. You get brownie points for that. You got to meet people halfway. There's no force. Just plant that seed and keep it moving, okay? And you'll notice that to really tap into your adult mindset, it goes between the age of 28 and 56, and sometimes a little bit higher. Just depends on the soul or the spirit that's in this incarnation, okay? But that's why you see it, people go through this midlife crisis right around by this time. It's like they tap into their second childhood, so to speak. All right, I just want to help it make sense a little bit. We talked about this before with the cult anatomy, okay? Number 4, each environment that we encounter, it pretty much a new classroom. So you want to treat your reality like a classroom, like I told you before. So each and every situation is a learning experience. So are you paying attention? Okay, so that involves school, church, work, home, and your alone time too. So in my experience, during like 1 to 3 years, you're gonna realize what works and what doesn't work. You should see, you should see results, or you're not gonna see results, good or bad. Okay, and if not, it's time for you to get a new experience. So that's what you see and play out. Like school is set up where you're only there for a couple years and then you graduate. Work, anybody that really want to change themselves, they work in a certain position for a certain amount of time, then they like, hey, I outgrown this position, then they apply for another position, or they'll go through some training to get another position. This same concept should be played out in church, but you got people going to this place, right? I was there too, my family, man, and it hurts me so bad to see this, where you stuck here for years without any knowledge of self. And again, after about 1 to 3 years, the preacher or whoever, they should be encouraged their congregation to graduate and basically share the great works. So because results leave clues, right? But as you can see, when you look at your surroundings, the average person is not getting the results, okay? Again, people can manipulate monetary riches, okay? But spiritual, riches, they lacking that because they don't know who they are, all right? So again, guys, if you're not seeing the results that you need, I'm speaking from the heart here, it's time to change. You need a new mentor and a new experience, okay? Main thing, you need to learn universal laws and principles, those 7 hermetic principles, okay? So 5, like I said, results are going to leave clues for you. So if the people in the group haven't grown spiritually, mentally, emotionally over the past like 1 to 3 years, you need to find a new mentor in a new classroom. You get what the crowd get, and basically not much, like I said over here, okay? So as we get ready to close things out, please learn those 7 hermetic principles and the universal law. Is going to help eliminate that blind faith with knowledge of self. Now, each person is going to encourage once you tap into knowledge of self, that means what? Each person got to take full responsibility for his or her action, okay? It's all about cause and effects. You reap what you sow. Also, as we close things out, because you are a target and a magnet, okay, you got a lot of fake charities out there. So what, in my experience, the way the universe like to reward you, donate to the people who really help you, and also the people in your local area. So the people who really help you, like those family members or those friends that give you game-changing advice, but you never took them out to eat, or you never say, hey man, can I give you a couple dollars for that advice you gave me? It really helped me out. So it's time to have a fresh look and a fresh approach at applying and helping people in our local surroundings, so to speak, okay? But find a way, what am I saying? Find a way to add value to people in general in your community, okay? All right, some people, like I said, many presentations, there are people out there that would love to be in your shoes. So good or bad, so no matter where you at on the grand scheme of things on the scale, right, there are some people out there that would love to be, swap places with you, and I know what it feels like, okay? Lastly, be mindful of scam calls. At synchronistic time, they love to do that, okay? They'll bait you into some gift cards, some grants. They'll be like, hey, if you send me $50, we're gonna hook you up with a $1,500 grant or a loan check or something like that, or sweepstakes. So don't fall for these fast talkers. The main thing to do, there's nothing free. Remember, ask questions, don't provide any of your information, and again, nothing is free. Everything is a test. So the universe is testing you, your spirit is testing you, okay? But this has been my own personal takeaway when it comes to going through this dark night of the soul, your spiritual awakening, things to avoid, and to also noticing your reality, because you are tapping into your heart chakra to really build a relationship with your heart chakra, because there's a deity and an entity there. All right, please learn your history, okay? Learn other people's history so you can see their perspective, and that way you can really tap into knowledge of self, okay? I really hope that makes sense. I want to make things as clear as possible, but research, please research. But guys, this has been my own personal takeaways. Be sure to click that like and subscribe button down below. I greatly appreciate you. As always, Earth is a school, and when you know better, you're going to do better. Our purpose and mission require learning a whole bunch of life lessons to gain that experience and knowledge for our soul grow. So it's never too late to rewrite your story, but you got to start now, okay? So the things you're doing right now is going to dictate your future. So good or bad. But most importantly, stop blindly believing people. Trust your own inner voice, your own energy. Everything matters, cause and effect. Get in the flow. Get in your own biorhythm and flow in your life, and most importantly, pay yourself that 10% first, okay? Stop letting people use you, all right? Before you pay in the bill, pay yourself first, all right? So this has been my takeaways, and we'll be back with another presentation soon. This is Chris with Food for Your Thoughts. Love yourself. Take care of yourself. Learn more about yourself through self-realization, self-discovery, and knowledge of self. It's just that simple, okay? So when you follow the crowd, you lose yourself. But when you follow your soul, you lose the crowd. Eventually, your life purpose will appear. But in the meantime, don't fear the solitude. Until next time, stay grateful and focused, fam. Peace.